In the year 1065, I was living in a little old broken-down castle that was set on a hill, surrounded by trees on a little green island out in the ocean. One of the turrets had fallen down, and the chain was broke on the drawbridge, which didn't seem to matter, because there wasn't no water in the moat. Well, it was about this time that I realized that I didn't even have the price of a drink. So I decided then and there to become a soothsayer. Oh, now I was very good at it too, if I do say so myself. Most of me clients was the serfs in the area and a few of the local outlaws who was living out in the woods. But one day, the king himself summoned me to his grand castle over the hill. Well, I didn't know what he wanted. But the second I walked into his royal chambers, he demanded to know how he was going to fare in this great battle that he was marching off to that very afternoon. Well, I didn't know, but I didn't tell him that. Oh, no. I didn't want to wind up stretched on a rack with a couple of hot coals on my eyelids, so I said, Your Majesty, would you be giving me a wee little moment here while I go and consult the ether? I walked over to the window and looked out. Nope, it was too high to jump. So I spit, stamped once, turned around twice, said 3 magic words, which I won't repeat here, and walked up to him and said, Your Majesty, you'll be pleased to know that on the day of the battle, a great and ancient warrior will be guiding your every move, and you will win the greatest victory that anyone in this part of the world has ever seen before. Oh, he liked that. So that afternoon, he went marching off on his white horse, his knights and his foot soldiers raising a cloud of dust behind him. I thought they'd have my neck stretched in a week, but do you know that on the day of the battle, he actually did win? It wasn't the greatest victory he ever seen, but he thought so, and that's all that mattered. It was on his mind, you see. And I put it there. A little bit of hocus pocus on my part. Well, not long after that, I went up into the hills to go fishing. Now, I dearly love to fish. I love to go and just throw out a line. Just throw out a line and see what I catch. Oh, it's beautiful up there. The dark blue lake, the green hills around, the pale blue sky with the warm sun. I just thrown out a line. Do you know that in all the time I've been going fishing, I've never caught a darn thing? Well, it didn't matter. I just thrown out a line when suddenly I felt a bite. And I thought, saints be praised. But then just off to my left, a door began to materialize in the air. A door. No cottage, no castle, no barn, no nothing. Just a door sitting there in the air, about 6 inches off the ground. Well, being a curious sort, I laid down my fishing pole and went over and opened the door. Well, it was dark as far as I could see, which wasn't very far because it was dark. But I heard a voice down at the other end. It said, Hello! Oh, good, the channel's open. There's someone there. Hello! Welcome! Come on through! Well, I stepped in. The door slammed behind me, and quick as a wink, I fell like a piece of coal down a chute and landed in someone's living room. There was all this overstuffed furniture about, and one of the walls was all glass, and it looked out on the ocean. There was 5 or 6 people there, all dressed in white robes, men and women both. And one of them said, Oh, good, you'll be the one to tell us. And he wanted to know what year I was from. Well, I told him 1065. Then he told me that they were from a place called Malibu in the year 1989. And I said, Well, I'm sure you are, but you'll get over that. Now, do you mind if I go on back to my own time? He said, Oh, no, you can't do that. The door's locked. You've got to tell us first. I said, Tell you what? He said, You've got to tell us about life. How do you live life? How do you handle the problems of life? Well, I didn't know, but I didn't tell him that. Oh, no, they seemed an awfully desperate bunch. So I said, would you be giving me just a wee little moment here while I go over and consult the ether? So I went over and I tried the door. Sure enough, it was locked. So I spit. I stamped once, turned around twice, said 3 magic words, which I won't repeat here, then walked up to them and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, you'll be pleased to know that the way you handle life is you throw out a line. You just throw out a line. You got trouble over here, you throw out a line. You got a problem here, throw out a line. And pretty soon you'll see that your problems will disappear." Oh, they like that. And one of them said, "You know, there's something I've been wanting to tell me wife for a long time now. I just keep putting it off. I'm going home right now and tell her." And he left. It was a woman. Said she'd promised her kids to take them on a vacation for 1.5 years. She kept putting it off. She says, "I'm going home right now and pack. We're leaving first thing in the morning." Another fella said he'd owed a friend of his money for 5 years. He was going to go home right then and write him a check. Pretty soon they was all gone. I went over and tried the door. Sure enough, it was unlocked. So I went on back to my own time, and I thought, well, there's another fine mess I've gotten myself out of, with a little bit of hocus pocus on my part. Back at the lake, the sun was going down. My fishing pole was gone, the fish was gone. Well, no matter, I'll get another. But do you know, it's very easy being a soothsayer, because you don't have to rely on the truth. You just use some of your common sense and, well, a little bit of hocus pocus on my part.